All right, our final player of the day, Florida offensive lineman Martez Ivey. We'll open it for questions. Again, if you got questions, raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. We'll go down front to the right.
Martez, of course, 4-7 season last season. You decided to come back. Was it a chance just to end your career on a good note?
Yeah, that was mostly what it was. Is, going 4-7, it's like a bad taste in your mouth, and I knew as a player I didn't want to tell my kids or have people ask me how I did at Florida and like what was your record, and I just want to I want to leave with a good taste in my mouth.
Again, if you got questions for Martez, raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. We'll go to the left side on the back row over here.
Martez, you guys have talked a lot about how the strength and conditioning program has really changed, and you guys feel like you've gotten bigger and stronger. Knowing that now, looking back, do you feel like you guys were maybe a little ill-equipped last year from a physical standpoint to handle the SEC?
Most definitely. I mean, you knew it when you was playing. Just like, you coming out, you can just tell like people was like stronger than you. It was kind of like not intimidating, but it's like, man, wow, I'm not as big as them. You see kids come in, now that you hosted on your officials that turn out to be bigger than you right now. That it's just it was something that like blew my mind and so I knew like once we got a new staff in, it was going to be different. We was going to change it around because even the staff knew, I believe, that it was basically the weight room wasn't where it needed to be.
How much do you expect that to kind of change things for you guys this fall?
I expect us to be more physical up front. That's for a fact. O-line, D-line. I feel like we can take control of the game more now just by having more strength, more speed, and more power.
We'll go to the front row down here on the right.
You got of course, new staff in, but bring back your fellow offensive linemen that you've played a lot with now. Speak to the point of being able to play with those guys for now another year.
It adds chemistry and just they played for a while and they all got experience and it's nothing new for them, and now it's just like working on technique. They didn't see everything. They didn't see a lot of defenses. There ain't much you can really throw at them that's going to confuse them and throw them off their game. Just coming back and play with them one more year means a lot. They're my buddies, been with them for 3 to 4 years. So I mean, I'm excited and can't wait.
We'll go to the camera position back here, far right.
We've heard a lot about the energy that Dan Mullen brings to this program and everything like that. How would you describe what he's brought to the team, the program, and everything like that?
He brought competition to the program. I mean, I felt like that's what we was lacking for a while was competition. And now that he came to the program, everything we do, we compete, and that what makes football fun. Going through the off season, competing, that what makes you better as well. If that's the biggest thing he brought to the program.
Any other questions? Go to the camera position, far left.
As an offensive lineman, the previous offense versus this year now with a more of a spread system, how much of an adjustment has that been for the offensive line for you guys?
Playing offensive line is kind of much like everything pretty much similar, just different, some different techniques, and you're going to pass block, you're going to run block. It's just getting out on screens may be different, certain techniques may be different, but it's not much new, but it's more Coach Everson bring he kind of bring reality. He's very truthful. He'll tell you what you need to work on, and he's not going to sugarcoat anything. And just he also bring competition because he don't really care where you played in the past and how long you played in the past. You got to do your job every day. You got to come out and compete. And if you're not working, you can see yourself at the bottom of the roster.
Go to the camera position in the middle, straight ahead.
Martez, what kind of benefit is it for an offensive line to have a quarterback as athletic as Felipe Franks that can escape on his own, and what kind of development have you seen from last season to this year?
The development I've seen from Felipe is unreal, and all our other quarterbacks as well, in Kyle Trask. He's actually pretty mobile too as well. Just by having them to be, having them mobile, it helps O-line out a lot because, you know, even if we may give up a pressure, they can escape. They can elude from it. You know, they can create a play with their feet, or they can, you know, scramble outside the pocket and make a deep ball, you know, as you've seen Felipe do against Tennessee.
They're standing back here on the left side.
Martez, have you seen the rivalry, if you want to call it, between Tennessee and Florida change since, you know, you've been in school, and, you know, the Hail Mary last year, how things went in 2016?
In a good way or a bad way? Either or. I see it as like, you know, when we come to play each other, it's a big game for our fans, and it's a big game for us because we just know what's on line. You know, we're playing for the SEC East, and, you know, win or lose that game, that may determine who goes to the SEC championship or who wins the East. You know, that's a big game for us, and as well as Georgia. You know, it was the two biggest games, I believe, to stay out in the East.
The front row over here on the right.
What changes did you see on the defensive line when you went against those guys in the spring?
Difference, that's all. The difference I saw was the speed, you know, off the edge, and just the strength as well. But mostly definitely be speed. You know, they're a lot faster now than they were in the past.
We'll go standing over here to the left.
Kind of piggybacking off a question from that guy. Rivalries, you know, you got Tennessee at Georgia, but the LSU rivalry, especially the last 4 or so years, I see it in your face right there. Talk about, I guess, the progression of that, and how different is that compared to your other rivalries?
You know, I think it all started with, like, the hurricane deal and, like, you know, missing the game, you know, in the swamp, saying we were scared to play them, so we went down to their place and played them, you know, and just having that goal line stand and winning the game at their place, and them coming down here, you know, beating us on our field as well. It's, you know, this year I feel like it'll be more intense than it's been in the last 2 years because it's something like, I don't know, it's like as players, we know like how much this game mean to each other. You know, like I got friends at LSU and they got friends here in Florida. We just know this game, it means a lot to us, even though we're not in the same like side. But it means everything. It means just as much as it means like Georgia and Tennessee or Florida State.
We'll go sitting back here on the back row to the far left.
Ball and kind of seeing the new scheme on offense, how would you kind of describe the creativity level of Dan Mullen's system?
100 times better, to be honest with you. It's we got a lot more options, and I feel like we do a better job at utilizing our players and our weapons. And it doesn't matter who it is, you know, we can put the ball in their hand, we can gain about 10 to 5 yards every time, you know, or we take deep shots. You know, it confuse, you can, like a replay option, we can confuse the defense and take a shot on them. Or we can be physical up front and, you know, just dominate the line of scrimmage. You know, I feel like we got options. It's not a one-dimensional team.
Anything else from Martez? All right, thank you.